What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back for another Game of Thrones Season 7 update video. As most of you know by now, this has been one of the most exciting weeks for the Game of Thrones community. A few days ago, HBO released their first official trailer for Game of Thrones Season 7, and as we get closer and closer to the premiere date, HBO continues to increase the promotion for their #1 series. Yesterday, Entertainment Weekly released even more photos, and this time they featured the members of House Stark exclusively. The Stark reunion hype and tease has officially begun, my friends. But besides all of us House Stark fans wanting to see the family get back together during Season 7, that isn't the only interesting thing about this photo shoot. If you've seen these photos released by Entertainment Weekly, then I'm sure you noticed Arya carrying around some extra steel on her hip. And if you look closely, you can see that Arya Stark now has the Valyrian steel dagger that was heavily featured during Season 1. And if you've only watched the series once or you haven't read the books, then you may not quite remember this blade. This was the dagger that was used during an assassination attempt on Bran Stark all the way back in Season 1, Episode 2. This was the Valyrian steel dagger that led to the eventual arrest and first trial by combat for Tyrion Lannister. But you may be wondering to yourself, how the hell did Arya Stark end up in possession of this Valyrian steel? Because thus far, we've only seen her carry around Needle, which is the castle forged steel that Jon Snow gave to her as a parting gift when he left for the Wall. In the television show, the last time we saw this dagger, it was in Ned Stark's office in King's Landing. Right before Ned Stark was arrested and thrown into his cell, Littlefinger came to his office where he was attempting to get Ned Stark to go along with his plan to remove Joffrey from the Iron Throne. During this scene, Littlefinger actually puts his hand on the blade, and later in this same episode, Littlefinger puts a blade in Ned Stark's throat, which then Cersei and Joffrey have him arrested, which would eventually lead to his execution. This was the last time we actually saw this Valyrian steel dagger in the television show. So yesterday when these photos were released, I was discussing them with Grey Arya. And for those of you that aren't familiar with her, she is another Game of Thrones YouTuber, and she's one of my closest friends in this community. She's one person whose opinion I respect a lot, and all week long Grey Arya and I have been analyzing all these different photos that have been coming out. So yesterday when these ones came out, I was running a few different ideas past her about how I think Arya Stark ended up with this Valyrian steel blade. Since we haven't seen this blade since Season 1, there was a few different ways I thought Arya could have gotten it. And the strongest option was that Littlefinger went back to Ned's office after he was arrested, and he took the dagger back and he's had it this entire time, although we haven't seen it since. And Grey Arya also believes Littlefinger has had this dagger the entire time based off the fact that Littlefinger was seen with it once again in the books. So I think the showrunners will use that to explain where it has been all these years. Because I know a lot of people have wondered if we would ever see this dagger again, especially now that winter is here and the Night King is coming. Westeros needs Valyrian steel now more than ever. Now that Arya Stark is in possession of this dagger, this pretty much confirms what we've been talking about for months. Arya Stark will kill Littlefinger at the end of Season 7 and take this dagger from him. And he may even have it on him once she puts him out of his misery. But I am a little bit surprised that HBO would allow her to wear this blade so blatantly during a photo shoot. Usually they're a little bit more subtle than this. Could this be some misdirection to throw us off? Perhaps, but deep down, this only further confirms the inevitable for me. Near the end of Season 7, Littlefinger will be at Winterfell, and when Arya shows back up, Littlefinger will try to use her and Sansa against each other. But eventually they're going to realize what he is doing, in which Sansa will finally sentence Littlefinger to his death, then Arya will be the one to execute him. Finally. And it's going to be nice to have the Starks get their hands on some more Valyrian steel, since their own ancestral family sword was taken from them and made into 2 swords for the Lannisters. How ironic would it be if Arya Stark kills Cersei with the same Valyrian steel dagger that was used to try and murder her brother Bran, which was orchestrated by a Lannister. That would be one hell of a turn of events, ladies and gentlemen. But anyways, comment below and give me your thoughts on this dagger. How do you feel about Arya Stark now having this blade? And how do you think she got her hands on this? Does it confirm Littlefinger's death for you? Because it definitely confirms it for me. Let me know down below. And as always, thanks for stopping by and watching the video. A special thanks to the supporters of the channel over on Patreon. I'll see you all down in the comment section. Bye.